think at some point I have the right to just say I give up. Give up. Mom's back to not eating. I have no idea if she took her medication. I know she takes it at night because I watch her, but I don't know if she takes it in the morning. She could be throwing it away. The fact is, you have like this little bit of relief. Like yesterday, she ate her cereal on her own, and I was happy. And she didn't eat all day long, but I got her to eat some of my chili at night, and I was happy. Today I get up at 11:30, and she hasn't eaten anything. She's not hungry again. She's lethargic. Now, I know now what's happening with Omar because he hasn't been the same since he went to the vets. Remember, before I took him to the vets, he could be in the bathroom and eat food off the floor and all this crap. Okay. I made peace with saying goodbye to him. I thought he had broken something because he was lethargic. He couldn't move, he couldn't wake up, he couldn't whatever. Don't ever let your vet give your dog or cat an antibiotic called Convenia, i.e. convenience. My dog is old and blind and senile, and I need to let him go, okay? But they give that convenient to like any dogs, any cats, any animals. They don't tell you the potential side effects. There are potential side effects. And me being me, when she said, I'm just going to give him an injectable, I just said, okay, that's an antibiotic like anything else. It isn't. It isn't. It's an antibiotic that stays in the system. Unlike, I guess, traditional antibiotics that you have to give in pill form. It stays in the system. So, like they say, if the dog has if your pet has a bad reaction to a traditional antibiotic, at least it gives out of the system. But this stays in. There's nothing you can do. Omar didn't break anything. Omar is experiencing an adverse reaction, a side effect to the antibiotic. I just looked it up because I thought, okay, if he didn't break anything, why has he not been well since he went to the vets? And the only thing that she did was give him that. I thought nothing of it. I found a thing and it says you have to, but nobody knows right away. Vets don't know to warn you. Vets don't know to warn you. They just don't. I need to find someone to come to the house. It's what I'd always planned to do if I had to put my baby to sleep. if it's a stranger. I already made peace last night with him being gone. It's that I didn't know. To me, all antibiotics are the same. It was developed so you don't, for pets that it's difficult to give them pills. But the vet's just casual about it. I'm going to give him an injectable antibiotic. Because the ear, it was just a whole chain of events, all revolving around him being old, okay? But I had never planned to take him in and put him to sleep. I said that up front. I'm not going to just take him in and put him to sleep. I'm going to find out what's wrong with him. I'm going to get blood work done. I'm going to have his ears looked at, because the ear, where that, a scab on the ear is okay, but where it had torn that time, that was turning pussy. And that is an infection, can kill him. But they don't tell you. If I was told what I just read on this site, because I thought about it, I'm like, how does that work? How does an injectable work? That's weird. Because I thought you'd usually give antibiotics every day, but I didn't think anything of it. I can't expect it to be so strong. And I don't have any support system in person, The universe was kind to me, just let Omar die in his sleep. It's mostly just sleeping. So if he's sound asleep, he's not suffering. He didn't break anything. He's having an adverse reaction to that antibiotic. He's having the symptoms where it says it's possible, Who knew? The vet didn't tell me anything. I think I'm just going to pay to have a stranger. There are people that come to the house. I don't think my vet would come to the house. I don't know. Not taking him in. I would have if he was, if he'd broken something like I originally thought. If he'd broken something and he's like in agony it stays in the system for 2 months. Says I guess it again, at least he's old, and I was thinking about, should I put him to sleep? I mean, this is just such, I get my hopes up with her, and now today she's worse. She's headed for, how strong am I supposed to expect it to be? but maybe I send emails off to my vet. Maybe I can save some pet that's young in the future that, you know, maybe my vet will start to at least let, and that doesn't mean owners might still not risk it, of course, but at least say, you know, this is a different kind of antibiotic. There are potential side effects to anything. He's never been on it before. I just thought all antibiotics are the same. No, this is something so. You should warn, that's all. Warn the owners, and then they might, you know. It's because it's for animals that you have extreme difficulty getting pills in them, and I would have given him more pills. I would have given him pills. He had no idea. I had no idea about what this was, why it was created. I had no idea. I had no idea. I would have said no. Again, if I'm trying to find out what's wrong with my dog, why he's so skinny, and now I have this hope that, you know, that, okay, it was just that he wasn't eating enough, which wasn't my fault. I was trying to get him to eat. I already went through all of that, okay? I told you all that. I'm dealing with double. My mom's not snapping out of this. I'm just, I'm somebody dealing with all this crap who has the intellectual capabilities and depth to just process it all and just internalize it all and try not to let it kill me. Anyway, it's called convenia, and probably works out fine for both. Again, you're dealing with a dog that he never had that before. I didn't know. Didn't know. How could I know? How could I know? Couldn't know. That's why when I came home find Omar like that, remember he was fine before we went to the vet, so it has to be that. It has to be the antibiotic because having an adverse reaction to it. I'm sure it works out fine most of the time, otherwise they wouldn't give it. But probably maybe shouldn't have been given to Omar when he's so skinny anyway, and not the best of you know, all I know is just irony. I went out yesterday and was saying, I was happy to have gotten his blood work back, and his blood work is fine. Perfect blood work. I got his poo-poo thing, his stool sample analysis. Great news. Got it from the vet just now. Great news. Omar's stool sample came out negative which I figured it would. I just was covering all bases. You know, I figure I'm going to keep him around a little longer. His blood work's fine. I'm going to try to fatten him up. I think it was just the whole circumstance, and now he's having an adverse reaction to that antibiotic. Irony is off the charts. lethargy is one of the potential side effects. He did miraculously wake up at 5 hours later after I thought that he was a goner. He woke up and he was eating and he went to the bathroom. It wasn't, and he peed, he drank a little bit of water. He wasn't, but now we know why he couldn't stand up. It wasn't that he broke his neck or back. It's that he's lethargic. And the only variable is that antibiotic. So, there you have it. Now, most people in this situation, they would, if they're not going to just put their animal to sleep, because they're going to think, well, he's having adverse reaction. It doesn't mean they'll necessarily kill him. In any case, Omar's had a really good life. And I have given everything myself to that dog. Okay? His neck or back were broken or something. And I know he's like, and then I would, you know, I don't even have a ride. I am not taking my baby. I'm not walking to the goddamn bus and taking the goddamn bus to put my baby to sleep. On an emergency basis, no less. So who, you know, so I sent the emails and just to say, I'm sorry that's happening no more. Maybe she'll feel a little, you know, there's always potential side effects to anything. So maybe she'll feel a little guilty. I should have told you, you know, it's a new antibiotic and he's 16 years old and he's never been on it before, you know. I didn't know. He's been on other antibiotics, of course, in his life. I didn't know. Oh, God, I can't take it. I really can't take it. I can't take it, and she's not doing good. Oh, my God. Oh, God. I just sent them both. I sent this just now. The other one I sent to myself because again he won't. The universe is fucking with me. Like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm starting to feel like the universe wants something to happen to me. Omar hasn't been the same since his vet visit. He must be having an adverse reaction to the injectable drug Convenia you gave to him. I'm probably going to have to put him to sleep. I sent an email to you last night, but then he woke up and ate. I didn't know about the possible side effects of the antibiotic you gave to him. I looked it up just now. I didn't send the email because he miraculously woke up and ate his food out of my hand. When I wanted, he ate a lot of it. When I 100% thought he had broken his neck back or something because he would not wake up. All caps. I cried off and on uncontrollably for 5 hours and begged the universe to just let him go in his sleep so that I would not have to take him to be put to sleep on his birthday. And this is what this person says, site. It's a site, catinfo.org/convenia-worth-the-risk. And the possible side effects are death, tremors, ataxia, I don't know what ataxia is, seizures, anaphylaxis, acute pulmonary edema, facial edema, injection site reactions, alopecia, scabs, necrosis, and arrhythmia, hemolytic anemia, salivation, pruritus, lethargy, vomiting, diarrhea, and inappetence. I'm going to look up all these words. I don't know what they mean. Most common reactions I have read reports of are anemia, tremors, ataxia, seizures, diarrhea, lethargy, anorexia, and death. And then it says, with regards to the drug, it's important to note that if a patient has an adverse reaction, there's no way to retrieve this long-acting drug from his body. But if a short-acting drug is administered, the patient has a much greater chance of living through the event, if other than acute anaphylaxis, because the body would clear the offending drug, hopefully within hours, not months, as in the case with this drug Convenia. And then it says, it's not unusual for vets to give this drug to patients without discussing with the client first, which is understandable because most vets have not observed an adverse reaction in their patients and they have no reason to be concerned. It makes sense. In these cases, just as happened with me, all you'll see is Convenia on your bill. It'll be too late to voice your concerns. Of course it's too late. Of course it's too late. I didn't know. She just said I'm going to give him an injectable antibiotic instead of the... And I said, oh, that's good. I didn't know. If I'd known all this, how would anybody know? That's the whole thing. How would anybody know? And I got back from them, this morning. Hi, Laura. Almost stool sample was negative for parasites. Great news. Thanks. And name of the vet. And then the one that I sent last night, I sent it to myself. This is 3 hours behind. I sent this to myself last night at what time? To myself at 1. Oh, I wrote it earlier, but I didn't send it to anybody. That's what it was. I wrote it earlier than that, because at 12, I came home at 7, and he was urgent. Please show Dr. So-and-so. I am in a state of shock. The universe must have wanted me to let my baby go, even as I was busy clinging so hard to him. I was out dropping off a stool sample and picking up a urine kit. I came home to find Omar still alive but unable to move. My poor baby. Did he twist his neck? Did he eat too much? He told me to let him eat as much as he wanted to. I know he ate very slow, He ate very slow. Moistened pellets off the floor like he told me to do and was working out great. I feel like he somehow broke his neck or back. He was in the small soft playpen I purchased for him when he was getting his paw caught on the bottom of his wire cage, and I read online that those wire cages were potentially very dangerous for dogs. I got rid of the wire cage in order to avoid a potential disaster with Omar. I put a nice rug on the bottom of his small soft playpen. He should have been safe in there. He's been safe in there for several weeks, and this happens to him now? He was still able to walk, including for very short walks with me. Even before he got too thin, he was sometimes having trouble with his hind legs, but I read that was common in elderly dogs. I've seen him fall to the ground and get right back up. I can't believe he seriously injured himself while I was gone for a few hours today. This is such irony. I was walking in happy that his blood work was fantastic. It was beautiful out today. I was happy to know I didn't have to lose my baby just yet, that I would have the opportunity to hopefully get him back to a healthy weight, and then I come home to this sad nightmare. Now I'm praying he dies in his sleep because I don't want to put him or me through the trauma of me putting him in his carrier to take him to either you or somebody else to put him to sleep while I cry uncontrollably like I've been doing for hours. I probably won't even be able to get a ride and will be forced to walk a mile to the bus while carrying to the vets my beloved to me dog I can't afford to save and should let go anyway because he's 16 years old, blind, senile, and has lived a really, really good life. Laura. P.S.